Finally, it is here. I've been waiting for months for it to be delivered. When I first heard about it, that it came out, I immediately ordered it, and today it came in. So let's see what's in the box. Ta-da! That's massive. Where's the slash? So here it is. Look at how massive this Limitless is. It's big. It's long. It is, as far as I can tell, just as wide, with a much longer wheelbase, which helps a lot by improving the ability to drive in a straight line. Now, enough about this. Let's get this bad boy out of here. That's a nice looking car. That is an aggressive look. Let's see what it looks like underneath the body. Nice aluminium steering brackets, aluminium servo horn, there's the spool, wow, the differential is filled up with, I don't want to say water, but it is really light. Oh, there's also a bump in the steering mechanism. Something's blocked. Let me get this one out. So the servo horn is disconnected and there's still a little bump in there. Something is blocking the steering mechanism. And I press this, something is holding it back. There it goes, and then it is held back again. There it goes. Well, I don't know, I can see, I need to take it apart to see what is causing the steering mechanism to block, but something's not right in there. Okay. Well, what about the rear? Also pretty loose. Look at the tire. It has a flat spot on it. Do they all have it? A little bit less, but nonetheless it's not evenly round. What about this one? Well, what about the last wheel? I wasn't expecting that. Well, I was expecting to use other tires. I was planning on using other tires instead of these D-boots, so I bought these GRPs. But yeah, they're more like egg shaped. Not too happy about that. What about the suspension? Feels kinda soft, but I can add more pre-spring. What about the rear? Oh, the rear is a lot stiffer. I wish they've done that to the front as well, this stiff. Yeah, there's a big difference. This one is pretty soft, this one is a lot stiffer. This one is as stiff as I would have desired it to be. But the front? No. I know it's stock. It just came out of the box, but this is not quite as I expected it to be. So both center drive shafts are crooked. The one in the front is worse than the one in the rear, but nonetheless they are not straight, neither of them. So I wanted to take the spool out to see how crooked the drive shafts really are. So I cannot take out the spool like this, so I have to disconnect this center drive cup and then that one. And then what happened was I used my screwdriver and the screw just snapped inside, so now I cannot get it loose. It feels like they used super glue instead of decent Loctite. What the hell? I bought a new car and now the screw is broken. So now I have to drill or grind on the center drive shaft to get it out. Then drill out this pin and then buy a new drive cup and probably a new spool axle. I don't know how the construction exactly is on the inside, but I bet there will be some damage in there when I have to drill it out or grind it out. Not good. And I also had a lot of trouble getting these off. Luckily, the head of those screws was a little bit bigger. The difference is just 0.5 millimeter, but there is a difference. So luckily these 4 didn't break. But this one, there's no way to get that one out properly. And you can tune the differentials, put other differential fluid in there, make it more locked up. You can change the springs, play with the pre-spring, the shock fluids, but I expected a little bit more from a Limitless. And then talking about the wheels and being flat or not round, the center drive shafts being bent, both of them. It's not the quality that I expected, especially with the steering mechanism. Something is touching in there, and I was not expecting that. What about the play on the wheel hubs? Because I know from my experience with the Slash that the wheels had a lot of play. My experience from the Slash is that after I've set up the Slash correctly and I go for a few speed runs, the screws in the wheel hubs and in the suspension, they vibrate, come off a little bit. Even if I use Loctite or spring retainers. So after each run I have to take it back home and then look through the whole car and then fasten everything and make sure there's no play. Let's see if this Limitless has play. And it has. So let me hold one wheel, fix that one in position and then apply some pressure to this wheel. That's loose. So I can see there's a little bit of play on the pivot ball right here. Maybe it just isn't fastened enough. But there's also a little bit of play in the steering mechanism. Combine that with the steering mechanism not functioning properly because there's a bump in there. What about the wheels in the rear? You can't see it like this. Maybe like this. That's also pretty loose. This one's a little bit better. What? Every time I go for a run with the Slash and it is swiveling down the road all the way, from the left to the right, taking both lanes. And when I stop the run and I check the wheels, I check the steering mechanism, it doesn't even has this much play as this Limitless has when it came out of the box. What? I've waited 2 months for this? I'm sorry guys, but I just wasn't expecting this. I'm surprised, and not in a good way. So it says right here, 110 miles per hour car, 177 kilometers per hour potential speed achievable in optimum conditions with recommended electronics. Well, not like this, not with the play in this whole car. When I apply the throttle, it's just gonna fly off the road. I mean, come on. I buy a roller and the first thing that I need to do is a complete rebuild. So I bought this car and I was expecting to put the electronics in there and then just, I mean, that fits. This is my first Arrma and I heard that the V1 Limitless didn't fit the XLX2, so this is an improvement without changing anything to the car. It fits quite well actually. But having to do a full rebuild and tune up of the suspension and the differentials to even drive it, I mean, I wouldn't take my Slash out for a run in this condition. So the ESC fits, my batteries fit, will the motor fit? Well, it will fit. 2200 kV TP power motor. I just have to bend the wires a little bit, but it will fit. No problem there. So that's great. I assume my servo will fit. But wow. As much as I am surprised in a positive way when reaching that 164 kilometers per hour run with the Slash, I mean, I was really happy about that. I was really surprised that I could do that with the driving skills that I have. But this is the exact opposite. So the receiver box has a nice touch. It has a rubber seal, making it water resistant. Not that I'm going to drive this in wet conditions, but okay. Nice touch. So let me take the wheels off. Let's see what's underneath there. I got this nice little tool with the car. I wasn't even planning on bashing on the car. I just thought, let's get it out of the box. Let's have a quick look at it and then start building it. But then, as I went on to get a feel for the car, I'm not amused. Let's just keep it at that. I wasn't even planning to do a review video, if you want to even call it like that. Call this a review video. I mean, I knew that or I didn't know, but I expected it to need some tune-up to meet my requirements. So that's why I bought thicker shock oil. That's why I bought this 20 million weight fluid for the differentials to lock it up. But having the play and having the steering mechanism locked up, I mean, here, look at this. It just goes flapping around and about for at least 1.5 millimeters on both sides. The front is better, doesn't have any play in this direction, so that's great. But this one definitely needs some shims in there. Well, the connection there is steady. This one isn't. I know you need some flexibility of some sorts, but this is not only flex, this is play. What? My good sir, I wish you good luck steering with this. Have some fun off-road. I mean, I drive an X-Max. You guys know that. You've probably seen the videos. But when I go bashing around and about, I don't care about a little bit of play. So I drive the X-Max, I do whatever I want. I keep it pretty decent. I don't do too much extreme stuff. Jump here and there, go through some mud. Just have fun. And when the steering mechanism of the X-Max has a little bit of play, I keep it. Because when you go bashing around, the play, when you put new parts in there and you bash it around, the play just comes back after half an hour of driving because of all the dirt that gets in there. It's all plastic, it wears out. Doesn't matter, because the off-road surface that I drive is as bumpy as it can be. But I mean, my slash doesn't even have. Where is that thing? Where is that? Let me get the slash. You've seen my previous video. I crashed this thing. I went through the grass. The chassis plate in the front was bent. It flipped over like 5, 6, 7 times. It hit the guardrail. And the only thing that I did was take the chassis plate off. About 5 minutes before taking the Limitless out of the box. Because I wanted to do a comparison in size. So I haven't even cleaned it. I mean, look at this. It's dusty all over. So how much play does this have? And keep in mind, this is play in the wheel hub. I'm talking about the play in this ball joint. There is no play. steering mechanism ball joint. I mean, look at this. It's dirty and dusty as hell. Yeah, just keep it at that. I'm not gonna use too many dirty words in here. So, doesn't have any play. Nothing. And I crashed the damn thing. I mean, look at it. It's dusty all over. So, there's the proof. I haven't done anything with this car. This car crashed and it is still in better condition than that one. I am really curious about the guys on YouTube driving the Limitless over 200 kilometers per hour. I hope you don't do that in this condition, or am I the bad guy here? Am I wrong? I wouldn't dare taking this out for a serious speed run. No thank you. I just bought a new car. I didn't want to make a negative video, but I'm a little bit flabbergasted. Yeah, well, I spent a decent amount of money buying all the parts. I've waited very long for it to be delivered. I mean, I've heard months ago that this thing would be announced. So I was planning on buying the V1, and then a friend of mine told me, well, I heard a little story about the V2 coming out. So I contacted the store owner and I asked him, hey, is there a V2 coming out? And he contacted his supplier, and then they were like, yeah, there's a new shipment coming in August. And then in June it was officially announced, and then it said it would be delivered in August. Well, this is the first week of September, but we're in Europe, so, well, doesn't matter. But the anticipation was high. But to be honest, I don't think I was expecting I don't think that my expectations were too high. What are your thoughts about the Limitless, as what I have shown you now? Wow. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'm sorry for my negative attitude, but yeah, well, I wanted to share this would-be great experience with you guys. Yeah. Goodbye.